Horse Heaven Hills is a family-orientated business. We don't have food per se. We do have some of the finest spicy pretzels in eastern Washington, as well as peanuts. One of the things that makes us special is for a lot of our friends and family in the area here, we open up the brewery for semi-private parties that are potluck style. So we celebrate 30th, 40th, 50th birthdays, anniversaries. We've held a couple of wakes here. We've had a couple of folks that have celebrated their weddings here. What we do is set up a big table, potluck. Everybody brings in their food, and it just makes for a real wonderful, homey, and good fun atmosphere. As you can see, we are dialed into the Horse Heaven Hills geographically. The Horse Heaven Hills kind of surround Prosser. The Horse Heaven Hills historically has had a lot of wild horses. There's still hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of wild horses up above Toppenish toward Goldendale. And then there's my wife, Carol Lee, who loves horses, and had to have a little Appaloosa about 3 years ago. And the deal was struck. She would get the Appaloosa and I would get the brewery. She didn't think that the brewery was going to happen. I was quite sure that it was going to happen. She got the horse. We incorporated Carol Lee's love for horses and the wild horses of Horse Heaven Hills into the brewery. So when you're in the brewery and you're looking around, you're going to see pictures of the wild horses, and that kind of ties in the geography and some of the history. It also ties in my wife's interest, which is extraordinarily important in keeping the brewery viable. Carol is the CFO and bookkeeper at the brewery. The brewery is actually manufactured in Czechoslovakia. It's a Bavarian system. Originally, I think about 1997, 98, it was purchased by a group in Florida who sold it to a group in Alabama, Old Auburn Ale House in Alabama. I'd looked around for a smaller used system here in the Northwest for, I don't know, better part of 2 years, and couldn't quite find anything. And a friend of mine who's in stainless steel knew somebody who knew somebody, and got in touch with the guys in Auburn, Alabama. Flew down there, brewed on the system, hung out for a few days with the good old boys, and made an offer and put the brewery on a truck and a container and shipped it across the states and got it here to Prosser. As you can tell from our brew house, this is one of the few brew houses where the tap room is literally parts of the brew house. Originally, when we opened, we had the idea that we were simply going to be a tasting room. Limited hours, we'll brew beer, we'll sell beer out the door, and people would come in for tasting. That quickly has evolved into a pub atmosphere. We are indeed a pub right downtown Prosser now. You can tell from our furniture that we are it's sort of the Craigslist eclectic collection. There's about 6 dining rooms across the area that are represented here. It's nice and homey. We're family orientated. Kids can come in. We have a piano here. Folks that come in that play sit down and play, and as I said, we've just evolved into this really cool little downtown pub that brews very fine beer, and people come to enjoy themselves. Personally, as a brewer, I strive for balance in all the beers, and I appreciate a nice clean beer, well balanced with the malts and the hops. And I find that our customers here in Prosser and in the Lower Valley here appreciate that as well.